Good afternoon from Area 51 Raceway. Happy New Year to everybody, 2022. Excuse me, clearing my throat a lot. This is the based on the Dingus bar build that Harry had an article on and many years ago in Home Racing World. So what they used to do was cut the H&R chassis, that's all they had, in foam tires, and they would add these rails that they would bend out of brass. I used, I can't remember what the hell I used. I think it's 8152 I use. As you can see right there, 8152. And I think they use something different, a little bit wider than 8264. I can't remember. So I bent the rails to simulate, a frame. And I got the model that you can purchase, 32 Ford Coca-Cola car. And that's what this body is. And obviously I've cut everything out. Originally I had, or was going to leave the pillar, but I had screwed it up, so making something a negative into a positive is what I did, and I kind of just opened it up even more. A little bit tough to do. I've never really opened up stuff like this, but it came out all right. And originally I was going to do, just a little run sunroof, but I decided to do a bigger one. And I got the engine mounted. It is glued to the body and epoxied to the body, so it's not on the chassis, as you can see as I lift it up. And then I added these pipes, which are the, brass tube pipes. And I cut them at an angle and made them like, flutes. And what happened was I had this blower that came with this kit. And it had, you could put carburetors or, whatever you wanted to do. It had a hat that went on here, and it had two holes that were 3/32 in size. So what I did was drilled another two 3/32 size holes in, and I just got them deep enough that I could stick these in there and glue them. And this is where I got the appearance of this, this piping right here. And then the wheels are inserts that I got from a friend to simulate the old style, like truck axles, because that's what they use in racing. This I kind of made more. I don't know if you can make it a race car, but it looks like more like a hot rod now. But it was basically based on the Dingus build that Harry did, again, many years ago. And so far, this has been a tough one. The guide was really giving me a hard time, and I had painted this, and then I had to remove it and reset the guide. And one lesson learned from me, I seem to do better when I have the wheels and tires on, and then I set the guide. And this, instead of trying to set it where I think it would be when I don't have wheels and tires on it. So I think for going forward, I'm going to do it the way I usually do it, because that seems to work better. But I got the car to finally do what I wanted to do. The front guide and the front tires, to me, are the most important thing in the build. That's just me. You guys may think other stuff. Yes, you want these things barely touching. Right now they're touching because I don't have a guide on there. But you want these to barely touch the track. If not, you don't want them up or high, because that's really not good for the car. You want to be able to grab somewhere as it goes into a corner. And again, if you have these barely touching, and that's how I am, I'm really critical in this part when I do my builds. I want them to be barely touching, so I'll look at them on my track. And again, my plastic track isn't completely flat. So there's certain areas that are flat, and I've shown you in some videos when you see, I have some with white letters, when you see the car stop and the front wheels just spin a little, and then stop. To me, that's the perfect setting on how you want your guide and your front wheel height. I've always been critical on that. This car, it took me a while to get there. I had to remove that guide and then put it back on, and then I kind of, burned this thing a lot to get it to set where I wanted to. There was a lot of little frustration involved, but I was able to walk away, come back, reset the guide again, the guide holder, and then test the car before I painted it again. The front, at least the front part of the chassis, the rest of it was fine. And it worked out pretty good. It hung on good without a body, so we'll call that good. And then I already trued my wheels and tires. One wheel was bad. What I had done was I had screwed these wheels up. I only got one bum wheel, and I used, I believe it's 11. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the number. It was 1145 or 1161 brass tubing, 1/8. And what I did was, to save these wheels, which I saved 3 of them. So this one was just far too gone because it was wobbly. As you would turn it on the true, the tire was going like this, and I knew that wasn't good, so I didn't trust this. So I got another new wheel that I have, and this is pretty much garbage. And what I did was I drilled the hole out 1/8, then I inserted the brass tubing for 3/32 axle. What I did was I cut it, and then I drilled the hole so that you would have a hole for the set screw. And it's possible to do it. You just have to. You could save your wheels if you screw up, and it's a trick that Harry Weiss told me to do, and it actually worked real well. This one here was too far gone because I think it had been oblonged in a weird way that it wouldn't recover. So again, I had to get another new wheel, and then took the insert off this that I had made and put it in this one, and it's fine. The car runs good. So there's little things that I ran into that were problems that were a little frustrating, but I was able to come back and do it. But the car looks pretty good. I have to do more work to it. I have a tray interior I'm going to do for it, which is a for sale sign, obviously, and I cut this exactly to the size of it. I have a driver there as well. Whoops. I have my, resin driver, and I'm going to put some, netting over the top, on the sides, and I'm going to make a little small glass windscreen in the front, which I do have the plastic, and just kind of cut it out to just the windscreen to cover just the driver's face, because that's on the Dingus build. It's that way. It's got like a little shield just for the driver, and the rest is open. But it's pretty much the car, and I just want to share it with you, and that's it. Happy New Year again from Area 51 Raceway, and you take care and have fun racing.